Hey everyone, tonight we are going to walk together toward a bridge you probably wouldn't dare to cross in daylight, let alone at night. The stones are slick with moss. The arch rises higher than you thought it would, and the river below churns like a restless mouth. You can hear the water grinding at the rocks with a sound that might remind you of teeth. Don't fool yourself. You probably won't survive this if you wander in without listening carefully. The bridge has a reputation, and people mutter warnings about creatures lurking beneath it. Some say they've seen things moving under there. Others insist it's just drunks or shadows, and a few admit they've lost friends who went to prove their bravery. You're here anyway, because that's the kind of person you are. Maybe curious, maybe reckless. Doesn't matter. What matters is the air feels different near the bridge, heavier, as though the night has been waiting for you to arrive. Your boots crunch against gravel as you approach, the faint mist from the river catching the glow of the moon. It gives everything a pale shimmer, like stage lights on a set where you suddenly become the main act. The bridge looms ahead, a weight of carved stone that looks far too ancient for the sleepy little road that crosses it. One arch, simple and wide, with thick stones slotted together in a way no modern builder would bother to imitate. The kind of craftsmanship that says, "We didn't make this for you. We made it for something else." You pause at the edge. The wood of the railing is damp and slick, rotted in places, and it creaks when you put your hand on it. You lean over just enough to peer under the arch. The river keeps slapping the supports with cold impatience. But that isn't what grabs you. It's the sound. Soft, layered, like multiple voices trying to whisper in time with the current. You know how when you're half asleep and you hear a murmur from another room, and for a second you're convinced people are talking about you? That's exactly what this feels like. Only the whispers are coming from directly beneath your feet. The night has gone strangely quiet. No crickets, no owls, just the gurgle of the river and the whispers threading through it. You shift your weight, and the old planks groan louder than you want them to, as though betraying your presence to whoever or whatever is waiting below. You should keep walking across, you know that. Just march right over and pretend you never heard anything. But then again, people who never stop to look under the bed never find out whether the monster was real. And something in your gut tells you that if you leave now, you'll never get another chance to learn the truth about this place. So you stay. You crouch at the edge and peer into the darkness under the arch. The moonlight doesn't reach far enough. There's just the suggestion of a hollow, the underside of the bridge curving like a rib cage. You think you see movement, shadows where there should be none, shifting just out of reach of your focus. The hairs on your arms rise, and not from the chill. The whispers grow clearer, almost like words, though the language bends around your ears in ways you can't quite catch. It's not English, not anything you recognize. Still, there's a rhythm, a lilt, like the voices are calling to one another, maybe even arguing. Then, unmistakably, they pause. And you get the unnerving sense that they've turned their attention toward you. You tell yourself you're imagining it, just the current under the stones, just your nerves. But then the silence shifts again. One whisper breaks off from the rest, low and drawn out, and the sound carries up through the damp air like it's climbing directly into your chest. A voice, deep but not threatening, curious, almost amused. Your throat goes dry. You know you should back away, but your body leans forward instead, every instinct pulling you closer to the darkness under the bridge. The voice doesn't repeat itself, but you feel it waiting, like an invitation or a dare. The bridge seems bigger now, heavier, its arch stretching like the open mouth of something that wants you to step inside. The road behind you suddenly feels too far, too exposed. You take a breath, steady yourself against the railing, and stare into the shadows, waiting to see if they'll shift again. That's when you notice the eyes. Two of them, pale and round, glimmering like wet stones in the moonlight. They're set too far apart, too low to the ground. Then a second pair blinks into view beside the first, and a third higher, almost level with your own gaze. You don't move. You don't dare. The whispering starts again, faster this time, weaving between the eyes like the voices are sharing secrets they don't expect you to understand. Then one sound separates, clearer than the rest. A chuckle. You realize, with a jolt, that whatever's down there isn't trying to scare you away. It's laughing at you.
The chuckle doesn't fade. It lingers, low and rattling, bouncing off the stone ribs of the bridge. You freeze, heart thumping like the bridge itself has learned to beat. 3 pairs of eyes stare back at you from the gloom, unblinking now, as if amused by your hesitation. You think about bolting across, leaving this all behind, but then the laughter stops, and the silence feels even heavier, as though the river has gone out of its way to hush for them. One of the figures shifts, a bulk of shadow peeling away from the others. You catch a glimpse of shape, a thick arm, a slope of shoulder, skin with a texture that reminds you of weathered granite. It steps closer. You hear claws dragging against stone, careful and slow, like it doesn't want to spook you too quickly. A face tilts into the moonlight, not fully, just enough for you to make out the silhouette of a hooked nose, a broad forehead, and a mouth that looks too wide. The eyes, though, those are the strangest part. They're not monstrous. They're tired, curious, like someone studying a tourist who wandered into the wrong alley. The others shift behind it, smaller movements, but enough to betray their bulk. One of them grunts, low and impatient, like they're debating whether to let this play out. You lick your lips, not sure if speaking is wise, but your voice slips out anyway. I can see you. The figure pauses, then straightens. A second later, a voice answers, not quite a growl, but gravelly, the sound of rocks grinding in a riverbed. We can see you. There's humor in it, though, dry, almost smug. The other figures shuffle, whispering again in their strange language. This time, though, the cadence is easier to follow. You can almost swear they're laughing at you. Another shape leans forward, this one shorter but thicker around the middle. Its eyes shine brighter than they should, like polished quartz. You catch sight of jagged teeth when it grins. The grin is disturbingly human, except far too wide. What are you waiting for? The first one asks, voice echoing against the hollow stone. The words slide through you with a weight you weren't prepared for. It's not a threat, it's an invitation, and that's somehow worse. The wind stirs, carrying the river spray against your skin. You shiver, but your feet stay planted at the edge. You're not entirely sure when you lost the ability to turn away. Then the third figure moves, slow and deliberate, taller than the others. It steps just far enough into the light for you to glimpse the curve of long fingers, the knobby bend of knees that don't look right for walking on a road. It doesn't speak, but the silence it commands makes the others quiet. Its head tilts. The pale eyes don't blink. You're caught in the stare when something changes. The river's churn shifts, grows louder, like the water itself has decided to press against the banks harder, Spray leaps higher. You realize the noise is covering something else, the sound of movement. More figures are gathering under the bridge. You don't see them clearly, just the faint glimmers of additional eyes flaring open one by one, studding the dark like dim lanterns. A whole cluster of them, layered in the shadows. Your throat tightens. You're suddenly aware that you are very small, very human, and very exposed. The first voice chuckles again, softer this time. Don't run. It's almost friendly. Almost. The second one hisses, clearly annoyed, but the tall one silences it with a single growl. The air vibrates with it. You swear you can feel the sound in your bones, like someone plucked a string that runs straight through you. For reasons you can't explain, you lean even closer to the railing. You squint into the dark, hoping for more details, hoping to confirm whether these are just your nerves shaping monsters out of shadow. But the moment your gaze lingers, one of the smaller shapes moves unnaturally fast, crawling up the stone with claws that scrape against mortar. You jerk back, but the thing doesn't pursue. It stops halfway, dangling from the underside of the bridge like a spider, head tilted upside down toward you. The pale eyes blink once, then narrow. Its grin stretches wider. The others murmur something at it, a scolding tone, and it reluctantly drops back down into the shadows. But the message is clear. They could reach you if they wanted to. Your heart pounds in your throat. You force yourself to steady your breathing. The tall one steps forward at last. Its presence fills the arch. You can see the texture of its skin clearly now, craggy, fissured, like the surface of a cliff. Its voice is low, deliberate. Curious child. The words hang there, not a question, not even a full thought, just an observation, heavy enough to make you swallow. Behind it, more whispers, a ripple of laughter, a chorus of eyes blinking in unison. The bridge groans above you, as though it remembered something heavy pressing against it long ago. You take one small step back, but the tall one mirrors you, stepping forward. You're caught in a rhythm you don't control. And then, with terrifying clarity, you realize this isn't a chance encounter. They've been waiting.
The tall figure doesn't break eye contact. Its pale gaze fixes you as the others shuffle restlessly in the dark behind it, murmuring in that rough, stone-grinding tongue. For a heartbeat, you wonder if they're going to lunge, drag you down into the shadows, tear you apart before you even know what's happening. But instead, something stranger happens. It speaks again, this time softer and in words you understand. You hear us. It isn't quite a question, more like an observation they're still deciding how to feel about. Your throat works uselessly before sound stumbles out. Yeah, I hear you. The moment the words leave your mouth, the whispers stop altogether. The entire underside of the bridge falls silent. Dozens of eyes, blinking at different heights, all fix on you. The air grows thick, as if the river itself is holding its breath. And then, laughter. Not cruel, not cackling, but deep and genuine, like someone at the back of the group just heard the best joke of their life. It rolls around the stone arch and bounces back into your chest, rattling your ribs. A second voice joins in, higher pitched, then another, until the entire group of hidden creatures is chuckling at your expense. You blink, stunned. This isn't how monsters are supposed to act. The tall one doesn't laugh. It only watches. Then, with a rumble like gravel pouring down a slope, it says, "You speak back."
It shifts aside slightly, and a smaller figure scurries forward. The new one's movements are quick, almost jittery, claws scraping stone as it climbs up onto a rock ledge directly beneath you. Its eyes gleam white, its mouth full of jagged teeth. And then, in a surprisingly high voice, it blurts, "Say more." The words are sharp, eager, almost childish. The others hush it, muttering, but it doesn't back down. "Say more," it repeats, grinning at you with a smile that's equal parts invitation and threat. You swallow hard. Your tongue feels clumsy, but you manage. What are you?" The group erupts again, not in anger this time, but in another round of laughter. They find the question hilarious. The small one claps its long hands together, the sound a horrible mix of flesh and stone. The tall one finally speaks, cutting through the mirth. "We are what waits." The phrase lands heavy. Not an explanation, not really, but enough to tangle in your thoughts. The eager little troll, because there's no denying what they are anymore, bounces on the ledge. He sees us. He hears us. He asks us. It sounds proud, like you've just passed some strange test without knowing the rules. More whispers flow, but slower now, less mocking. They're discussing you can tell. One voice rises and falls with sharp cones, impatient. Another lower, sounds almost soothing. You get the sense of disagreement, even argument, though none of it is directed at you. Finally, the tall one raises his hand. Silence falls again. The pale eyes lock onto yours, steady and deliberate. "Come down." 2 words spoken with the weight of an order and the subtle lure of a promise. You glance down the embankment under the bridge. Slippery stones, twisted roots, and the black maw of shadow. Everything in you screams not to take a single step closer, but the eyes hold you. The grin of the small one beckons. The others wait, patient but intent. Your legs shift before your brain decides. One hand clutches the damp railing as you ease yourself toward the slope. Mud squelches under your boots. A rock tumbles into the river with a plunk, and the sound makes every eye twitch toward it at once. You feel like you've just dropped your keys in a library full of predators. The small troll chitters encouragement. "Yes, yes, come, come." Your balance wavers as you slide down the incline. The cold river spray hits your face, mingling with the heat of adrenaline rushing through your veins. You half expect claws to seize your ankles before you can reach the bottom. But no one touches you. Not yet. When your feet finally hit the flat stones at the base of the arch, you're swallowed in shadow. The bridge overhead muffles the moonlight. The smell down here is sharp. Wet stone, moss, and something like rust. Dozens of figures surround you, shapes cut from the dark, their eyes the only clear outlines. They're taller than you expected, broader. Some crouch on all fours like gargoyles, others stand hunched but steady, their long arms brushing the ground. The small, eager one scampers close, craning its head to sniff at you with quick, twitching breaths. "You smell thin," it says, wrinkling its cracked nose, and then it giggles, the sound bouncing off the stones. The laughter from the others follows, rippling outward. The tall one steps closer, towering above you now. Its skin glimmers faintly in the reflected river light, a pattern of cracks and seams like dried earth. Its hand lowers slowly, clawed fingers curling as though testing the air around you. "You hear us, you see us, you follow." The words are measured, deliberate. Then he leans just slightly closer. "Why?" Your mouth goes dry. You don't have a real answer. Curiosity? Recklessness? Maybe because you wanted to prove the stories wrong, or prove them right. But none of those feels safe to say out loud. The eager little troll leans in beside his leader, wide grin stretching. Because he's ours now.
The little troll's declaration hangs in the damp air. Because he's ours now. The words bounce against the stone arch, rattling in your ears longer than they should. A dozen pale eyes blink in near unison, and a ripple of chuckles shivers through the group. Not cruel laughter this time, more like amusement at a child's boldness. Still, the meaning of the words makes your skin prickle. You shift your weight on the slick stones, feeling the river spray catch on your clothes. The tall one doesn't laugh. It studies you with that steady, unreadable gaze. Finally, it straightens, its cracked skin groaning like old timber. Follow, it says, and the command is so heavy you nearly step forward without thinking. The smaller troll grabs your sleeve with startling speed. Its fingers are cold and rough, like wet gravel pressed into flesh. It tugs insistently toward the darkest part of the arch. This way! This way! You glance behind you. The embankment, the road, the faint shimmer of moonlight above the railing. You could scramble back up. You could pretend this never happened. But every eye is fixed on you now, waiting, patient. The thought of turning your back on them feels more dangerous than going forward. So you let the eager one pull you. The ground shifts under your boots, slick moss giving way to bare stone. The river growls beside you, slapping at the supports with renewed force, as if jealous of where you're going. The shadows thicken until the world narrows to the pale glow of troll eyes. Your steps echo under the arch, hollow and uneven, until the little one finally drops your sleeve and darts ahead on all fours. It disappears into a cleft in the stone wall. At first, you think it's nothing, just a jagged crack where water has eaten away at the foundation. But when the tall one stoops and gestures for you to enter, you realize the gap is bigger than it looked, big enough for a person to squeeze through. You hesitate. The smell wafting out is stronger. Earth, wet minerals, something metallic like iron filings, the kind of scent you expect deep in a cave, not beneath a bridge you've crossed 100 times without noticing anything unusual. The tall one rumbles low in its chest, impatience vibrating through the air. You duck your head and step inside. The stone presses close around you. Your shoulder scrapes rough walls. The ground is uneven, sloping down, slick with seepage from the river. The sound of water fades behind you, swallowed by heavier silence. Ahead, the small troll's eyes glow faintly, bobbing as it scampers deeper. Keep walking, it chirps. You do, one hand dragging against the wall to steady yourself. The air grows cooler, thicker, as though the earth itself is breathing against you. Each step takes you farther from the world above, until the gap of moonlight vanishes entirely. The passage widens suddenly. You stumble into a chamber, the ceiling low and arched, the walls glittering faintly with veins of quartz. The floor is littered with stones smoothed into odd shapes, piled like makeshift furniture. Several trolls wait here, their eyes catching what little light exists. They've been expecting you. The little one bounds to the center of the room, proud as a guide finishing its tour. "See, he came! He came!" The others mutter, some doubtful, some amused. One with a bent spine leans forward, sniffing the air like it can taste your fear. Another, squat and broad, grumbles in a language you still don't understand. The sound echoes, rolling across the chamber.
The tall one emerges last, stooping to clear the ceiling. Its presence fills the space. It gestures toward the piles of stones as if offering you a seat. You hesitate. A stone seat isn't exactly inviting, but refusing seems unwise. You lower yourself onto a smooth boulder, the cold pressing through your clothes. The trolls gather around in a loose circle. Their whispers rise again, rough and rhythmic, sometimes breaking into what almost sounds like laughter. You catch fragments of words, yours, ours, bridge, woven through the guttural noise. Finally, the tall one lifts a hand. Silence. Its pale eyes glow steady. You walked under, it says slowly, carefully. Few do. The others grunt, nod, even chuckle at that. The small one bounces on its heels, proud. He belongs now! You can't stop yourself from speaking. Belongs to what? The tall troll tilts its head, the motion grinding stone against stone. Belongs to us. The words fall heavy, like rocks dropped into a well. The circle of eyes tightens, closing in just a little bit. You realize this isn't just a peek into their world. This is an initiation, and you're already too deep to back out.
The chamber hums with their whispers, low voices curling around the stone like smoke. Belongs to us, the tall one repeats, and the phrase is echoed by several others, some laughing, some simply stating it like fact. The small troll, your overeager guide, claps its long hands together again and scampers toward another archway at the far end of the chamber. "Show him! Show him!" The tall troll doesn't stop it. Instead, it turns back to you, studying you for a long moment as though weighing something. Finally, it rumbles, "Come." You push yourself up from the cold stone seat, legs stiff. The circle of trolls parts, their eyes following as you move. They don't touch you, but the weight of their stares presses against your skin like a physical force. You follow the small one through the low archway, ducking as your head nearly scrapes the rock. The air grows warmer as you move deeper. The smell changes too. Less river, more earth, with something sharp and mineral underneath. When the tunnel widens, you stumble into a second chamber, and this one nearly makes you laugh from sheer disbelief. A banquet. That's the only word for it. A long table, crudely carved from a slab of rock, stretches down the center. Around it, trolls perch on stone stools, hunched over plates piled with not food as you know it. You blink hard, because the plates are stacked with slabs of stone, trunks of granite, pebbles, even what looks like a broken hunk of brick. The trolls crunch into them happily, jagged teeth grinding through rock as though it were bread. The sound is awful, like chewing gravel amplified in a cave, but they smack their lips and grunt with satisfaction. The small one darts to the table, shoving aside a broad-shouldered troll and snatching up a fist-sized lump of quartz. It scurries back to you, holding the rock up proudly. "Eat! Eat with us!" The tall troll steps in behind you, voice a low warning. He does not eat yet. The small one sulks, clutching the quartz to its chest. You stare at the table. It would be funny if it weren't so grotesque, an entire feast of stone. Some of the trolls lick the surfaces first, tasting the mineral sheen before crunching down. One delicately carves a pebble into slivers with a claw before popping them into its mouth like hors d'oeuvres. Another dunks a trunk of shale into a bowl of what looks like water, softening it before slurping it down. Your stomach turns at the grinding noises. You didn't think teeth could withstand that kind of abuse.
but theirs are thick, jagged, designed for it. When one troll notices you staring, it deliberately bites down on a stone until it cracks, then flashes you a grin full of powdered grit. The tall one gestures to the table. Our banquet. The way it says the words carries weight, almost reverence. You realize this isn't just a meal, it's ritual. The small troll can't contain itself. It bounds onto the table, scattering pebbles, and thrusts the quartz piece toward your face again. Try, try! The tall one growls, a sound like boulders sliding, and the small one freezes. Its grin falters. The others chuckle among themselves, clearly entertained by the dynamic. You hear words you almost understand. Guest, not ready, watch him. The tall one leans toward you, lowering its massive head until the pale eyes are level with yours. It says, "Stone is memory. We eat to keep." The words settle deep in your chest, heavy with meaning you can't quite parse. The banquet continues around you, trolls crunching happily, their voices overlapping in guttural chatter. One slams a fist on the table, demanding a larger piece. Another hoards a cluster of crystals, licking them like candy. Despite the grotesque meal, the atmosphere feels strangely familiar, like a noisy family dinner, full of bickering and laughter. You catch yourself almost smiling before the small troll shoves the quartz into your hands. Its grin is back, wide and insistent. Now you! The tall one's eyes narrow. Not yet, he repeats, but softer this time, as though unsure. The piece of quartz is heavy in your palm, cold, smooth, edges sharp. You know you can't bite into it, but the expectation presses down on you. Dozens of pale eyes watch, the trolls chewing slow, the chatter quiets. The chamber waits.
The quartz sits cold in your palm, a weight far heavier than it should be. The entire chamber leans in, chewing slows, jaws click to a halt, even the grinding laughter quiets. All that remains is the hush of trolls watching, their pale eyes catching what little shimmer bounces from the mineral veins in the walls. The small one grins at you with teeth like chipped marble, bouncing in place. Bite! Bite! You open your mouth to answer, but the tall one lifts a clawed hand. The gesture silences even the overeager child. The leader tilts its head, fissured skin stretching, voice low and deliberate. Not yet. The words are heavy, final, but not unkind. The small troll huffs, retreating with exaggerated sulk, clutching the quartz close to its chest like a stolen toy. Around the table, the trolls resume their meal, the sound of stone crunching filling the cavern again. You glance from one to the other, half expecting claws to fly at the next argument, but what unfolds is stranger than anything you'd imagined. One troll insists a particular stone is theirs, slamming a hand down on the slab and snarling in its guttural tongue. Another snatches it away, breaking it cleanly in two with a snap that echoes through the chamber. They bicker, voices overlapping, jaws snapping. But then, almost casually, they begin trading chunks across the table like siblings bartering food. The squat one with the broken tusk grumbles, pointing to a small pile of polished pebbles. Another troll snickers and flicks one of its own pebbles toward him, bouncing it off his forehead. Laughter ripples around the chamber. You realize you're witnessing something like manners. Twisted, crude, but manners nonetheless. This isn't the chaos you expected. It's a community. The small one sneaks back to your side, tugging at your sleeve again. Funny, isn't it? It whispers in a voice full of mischief. You blink. You have jokes? The small troll grins, eyes gleaming. Stones are heavy. Laughter makes lighter. The phrase is broken, clumsy, but you can't help it. A laugh slips from your throat, soft and nervous. As soon as it escapes, a few of the trolls snap their heads toward you. For a heartbeat, you freeze, but instead of lunging, they chuckle back as though the sound has marked you as... what? Not prey. Maybe something closer to kin. The tall one rumbles low, drawing the chamber's attention again. Its pale eyes pin you. You listen. You laugh. You are not afraid? You hesitate. Your pulse is loud in your ears, but you manage, I'm trying not to be. That answer, oddly, earns approving grunts. The trolls resume their crunching. The small one beams at you as though you've passed another hidden test. The noise swells again, stone breaking, claws tapping on rock, guttural laughter overlapping. It's disorganized but rhythmic, like a language built from sound and texture more than words. Every so often, one troll slams its fist on the table, and the others respond in unison with a rumbling cheer spraying bits of stone dust into the air. You cough, waving the grit away from your face. The small one cackles at your discomfort. Thing lungs, it teases, patting your chest with surprising gentleness for claws that sharp. Across the table, two trolls begin arguing in earnest. Their voices rise, their jaws clack, and one swipes at the other with a long arm. The blow knocks pebbles flying, but no one intervenes. The others just laugh louder, egging them on. The fight ends abruptly when one troll shoves a crystal shard into the other's mouth. The victim bites down, crunches angrily, then grins with powdered grit staining its lips. The dispute is over, apparently settled by sharing a bite. You whisper, more to yourself than anyone, You're like a family. The small one tilts its head, puzzled at first, then smirks wide. Family? Yes, family, under stone. The tall troll speaks again, voice like a landslide. Stone remembers. We remember together. You catch yourself staring at the way they gather, shoulder to shoulder, claws knocking, voices rough but united. Not monsters snatching from the dark, but creatures with rules, humor, tempers, bongs. The small one leans close, whispering conspiratorially, You will eat too, someday, when ready. Its grin flashes again, sharp and childlike all at once. The tall one rises, towering over the feast. It spreads its cracked hands, silencing the room. Enough, it declares. The trolls quiet, some still chewing lazily on the last of their stones. The leader turns its pale gaze back to you. Now you see, now you know, we are not what they say above. The chamber rumbles with low agreement. And in that moment, you realize the stories you grew up hearing, the trolls waiting to snatch travelers, the monsters of bedtime tales, were only shadows of the truth.
The tall troll's words roll through the chamber like thunder. We are not what they say above. The others grunt, nod, mutter their rough approval. Their pale eyes gleam in the mineral glow, and for the first time you feel less like prey and more like a guest of honor at some unsettling family gathering. You swallow, the grit of stone dust still clinging to the back of your throat. Then, what are you? The tall troll tilts its head, the crackling seams of its skin shifting like plates of rock under pressure. It doesn't answer right away. Instead, it lowers itself onto a slab at the end of the table, posture deliberate, like a storyteller settling before a fire. The other trolls quiet, their eyes turning toward their leader. Even the small one hushes, crouching at your feet, wide grin tucked back into expectation. The leader's voice comes low and deliberate, every word grinding like boulders. Long ago we walked above. not shadows, not whispers, walked with weight. The phrase walked with weight makes the others murmur in approval, as though repeating a prayer. The tall one continues, "Humans came, they feared, they said we were beasts, they told stories." Its cracked mouth twists in what might be disgust, might be sadness. Stories make fear thicker than truth. Fear pushed us down, under. The chamber hums with a resonance, trolls murmuring, claws drumming against stone in agreement. You realize this is more than a history lesson. It's a ritual, memory carried by voice instead of ink. One troll with a twisted jaw spits dust to the floor and growls, "They forget. They call us monsters." Another, broader, slaps the table with a chunk of slate. "Monster makes easy tale." The tall troll raises his hand. Silence falls. It leans closer, pale eyes steady on you. But you came. You saw. Now you hear truth. The weight of the statement presses on your chest. You glance around at the circle of faces, all watching, all waiting for your reaction. For the first time, you sense the divide, the gulf between the world above that fears shadows and the one here that breathes beneath stone. The small one pipes up, eager again. "Tell him more, tell him hunger." A ripple of chuckles follows. The tall one nods slowly. "Yes, hunger." The word comes out with a gravity that makes your skin prickle. One by one the trolls shift forward, their eyes glittering. The table groans under their weight as claws tap against stone. The air feels thicker, charged. You realize you've been pulled deeper than a simple feast. You're on the edge of a secret humans were never meant to hear. The tall one's voice lowers further, nearly a growl. "We do not hunger for flesh." The words settle heavy, and you realize how deeply ingrained the old stories were. The image of trolls gnawing bones, waiting under bridges to devour travelers, it clings stubbornly in your mind. Yet here they sit, crunching quartz and shale as though stone were bread. The tall one leans back, letting the silence stretch. Then, deliberate as ever, "We hunger for what stone remembers." The others echo softly, a chorus of gravel. "Stone remembers, stone remembers." The phrase twists in your mind. You glance at the walls, at the glitter of mineral veins, at the chunks of rock chewed down to dust, and a chill runs through you as the realization takes shape. This isn't about eating for sustenance. It's about something older, something deeper. The small one claps, delighted by your dawning comprehension. He listens. He almost sees. You lick your lips, throat dry. What does stone remember? The tall troll doesn't answer right away. It only leans closer, so close you can see the tiny fissures crawling like veins across its skin. Its voice, when it comes, is a whisper that shakes the floor. "Everything." The chamber responds with a low rumble, trolls murmuring, nodding, some pounding fists into the table. The small one howls with laughter, circling you, tugging at your sleeve. "He will know! He will see!" The tall one sits back, the authority in his presence calming the others. Not tonight, but soon. Its pale eyes lock onto yours with unnerving certainty. Truth has weight, and once you carry it, you do not walk the same. A shiver climbs your spine. The stories from above never mentioned this. They painted trolls as beasts with bottomless stomachs and no minds, And yet here you are, learning that their hunger is something more terrifying, more profound. The chamber slowly relaxes. Trolls return to crunching stone, muttering among themselves, some chuckling as though the tension never happened. But you can't shake the feeling that something invisible has just shifted, that by hearing these words, you've already crossed a threshold you can't retreat from. The small troll nudges you with an elbow, eyes glinting. Now you're heavy too.
The small troll's words cling to you. Now you're heavy too. You can't tell if it's meant as a joke, a warning, or some combination of both. Around you, the trolls return to their noisy meal, but the sound isn't just chewing anymore. It's purposeful, rhythmic, like dozens of teeth grinding out some hidden song. Your stomach tightens. You keep saying hunger. If it's not flesh, then what is it really? The tall one straightens, pale eyes narrowing. Its jaw works slowly, as though grinding words instead of stone. We hunger for memory. The others echo softly, a chant under their breaths. Memory, memory, memory. The squat troll with the broken tusk slams its fist into the table, sending shards scattering. Stone carries what flesh forgets. Another, hunched and sharp-shouldered, jabs a claw toward the glittering walls. Every weight tells story. We eat, we keep. The tall one nods once, approving. Stone is not food. Stone is truth. The chamber hums with agreement, their voices overlapping until it feels like the walls themselves are vibrating. You press your hands against your thighs, trying to anchor yourself against the strange weight of what you're hearing. The small one darts forward, tugging at your sleeve again. Come, I show. Its grin flashes bright and sharp. You hesitate, but the tall troll doesn't stop it. Instead, the leader rumbles. Let him see. The small one scampers toward a side tunnel, claws clacking on the stone floor. You follow, ducking under a low arch. The passage curves sharply, and the sounds of the feast fade, until all you hear is the drip of water somewhere ahead. The tunnel opens into a smaller chamber, darker than the last. The walls here are different, smooth, layered, streaked with minerals like veins through flesh. The small troll presses a clawed hand against one wall, eyes glinting. Here, listen. You frown. To the wall? It nods eagerly. Touch! Your palm meets the cold surface. At first it's just stone, rough, damp, unyielding. But then something stirs beneath your skin, subtle as a faint hum. It's not sound exactly, more like vibration, a slow pulse that builds the longer you keep contact. You draw a sharp breath. Images flutter through your mind, half-formed like dreams you can't quite hold on to. The sound of rushing water, the weight of countless footsteps above, a scream swallowed by the river. You yanked your hand back, heart racing. The small troll cackles, delighted. You heard! You heard! Your voice comes out shaky. That was real? It nods, all too pleased with itself. Stone remembers, always. We eat, we keep, we carry. The idea twists your stomach. They don't just eat rocks for sustenance. They're consuming the memories embedded in them. Every crumble of quartz, every lick of slate is a fragment of history taken into themselves. You whisper, more to yourself than anyone. That's why you live under bridges, because of what the stone hears. The troll's grin stretches wider. He sees, he almost sees. You step back, unsettled. The chamber feels heavier now, as though the walls themselves are aware of your presence. You imagine every moment ever lived on this riverbank pressed into the stone, the joy, the fear, the death, and these creatures feeding on it like a library turned into a banquet. The small troll skips around you chanting softly, "Heavier, heavier, heavier." The tall one's voice rumbles from behind. You whirl, startled to find it looming in the entrance. It must have followed, silent despite its size. Its pale eyes study you as though weighing your reaction. You begin to know, but knowing has price. What price? The leader doesn't answer directly. Instead, it presses his massive palm to the same wall you touched. The chamber quakes faintly, dust sifting down from the ceiling. Its voice drops to a whisper that still fills the space. Hunger never ends. The small troll echoes gleefully. Never ends! You stare at the stone, at the trolls, at your own trembling hand. The truth clicks into place with a sharp, chilling clarity.
The realization gnaws at you as heavily as the trolls gnaw their stones. Bridges are not just passageways, they are banquets. Every crossing leaves an imprint, a story pressed into the stone, and these creatures feed on that accumulation. Suddenly, every tale of a missing traveler makes sense in a different way. Not a body devoured, but a memory consumed. The tall troll turns from the chamber wall and gestures with one clawed hand. Come deeper. The small one squeals with delight, tugging your arm. Yes, yes, the city. Show him the city. You stumble after them, ducking through a tunnel that slopes steadily downward. The air grows warmer, heavier, laced with a metallic tang of minerals. Faint glimmers ahead tease your eyes, light, but not torchlight. It's something stranger, steadier. When the tunnel spills open, you forget how to breathe. A cavern stretches before you, vast and shimmering. The ceiling arches high, riddled with crystals that glow faintly from within, casting the space in eerie hues of blue and green. Stalagmites rise like jagged towers, and between them sprawls a city, not a human city, but a collection of troll dwellings carved directly into stone. Doorways gape in the sides of columns, steps spiral up natural pillars, bridges of raw rock span across chasms. The sight is overwhelming, primitive and alien, yet alive. Pale eyes gleam from openings, dozens, maybe hundreds, all turning toward you. Trolls shuffle across the rocky streets, some carrying slabs of mineral, others gnawing casually on fist-sized stones as though they were apples. Their voices echo through the cavern, low and guttural, weaving into a rhythm that feels both chaotic and strangely harmonious. The small one tugs at your sleeve. See, our home, not monster hole, city. Your mouth is dry, you can only whisper, You built all this? The tall one answers, voice reverberating through the chamber. Not built, grown. You glance again at the structures. Sure enough, the walls don't look carved in the way humans would cut stone. They seem coaxed, shaped slowly, as though the earth itself yielded to their claws over generations. The surfaces ripple with natural patterns, veins of mineral glowing like veins under skin. The small troll bounds ahead, dragging you down a path that snakes between jagged towers. Trolls pause to watch as you pass. Some sneer, some snicker, some simply observe with unnerving stillness. Children peek from openings, small, pale-eyed, their laughter like pebbles clattering down a slope. You try to take it in, the scale, the sound, the smell of mineral dust thick in the air. Every detail tells you the same truth.
These creatures aren't just scavengers beneath bridges. They've built or grown an entire hidden world beneath your feet. The tall troll's voice cuts through the noise, explaining as you walk. Bridges above feed us, but city keeps us. Memory here is heavy, deep, old. The words sink into you. This isn't just a nest, it's civilization. You pass a wide square where trolls gather in clusters. Some huddle around slabs etched with markings, lines and shapes scratched deep into the stone. Others lean close, running claws over the carvings as though reading them by touch. One troll lifts its head, powder dusting its lips, and growls something guttural. The group laughs. You realize with a jolt, they're telling stories, not with books or parchment, but with stone itself. The small one notices your gaze and beams proudly. Our stories stay, stone never forgets. The tall one halts at the edge of the square. Its pale eyes turn on you, steady, almost challenging. Above, your words die with breath. Here, words live forever. You look around at the glittering cavern, the trolls chattering, the etched walls carrying centuries of memory. It feels impossibly vast, unbearably heavy, and all too real. The small one claps your arm. He sees! He sees! And maybe you do. The world you thought you knew is gone, replaced by this hidden city of stone-eaters who feed not on flesh, but on the weight of memory.
The small troll's voice echoes through the cavern square. He sees! He sees! The phrase bounces off the glowing crystals above until it sounds like the entire city is mocking you. Troll heads turn, their pale eyes narrowing in your direction, curious and sharp. You wish the small one would stop drawing attention, but it doesn't. It bounces on its claws like a child desperate to show off a new toy. And then you notice them, actual troll children. They spill out from low archways carved into the bases of the stone towers, smaller than their looming elders but no less unnerving. Their limbs are too long for their squat bodies, their eyes already glowing with that faint mineral gleam. They scurry across the rough ground toward you, giggling in high, gravelly tones that sound like pebbles shaken in a jar. The small one claps. "Play! Play with him!" Before you can step back, 3 of the children are on you, tugging at your sleeves, your boots, even your fingers. Their claws are small, but sharp enough to prick your skin as they pull. Another circles you, grinning with a mouth full of stone-dusted teeth. One of them shoves a jagged pebble into your hand. "Eat!" it demands. You freeze, staring at the rock, dust crumbling into your palm. I don't eat stone." The children burst into laughter, a sound like brittle glass shattering. One mimics your voice in a high-pitched squeal. "I don't eat stone." The others collapse into fits of giggles. The tall troll steps forward, rumbling disapproval. "Enough." Its voice booms, and the children scatter back a few paces. But they don't leave. They linger just out of reach, eyes gleaming, smirks plastered on their young faces. The small one sidles close to you, whispering with glee. They like you. They want you to play. You glance warily at the children. What kind of games? The answer comes immediately. A jagged stone bounces off your shoulder. You whirl to see one of the trollings crouched low, grinning, already scooping up another shard from the ground. Another darts forward and yanks at your bootlace. It dawns on you, they're not just playing, they're testing. The small one giggles madly. "Chase them! Chase!" You hesitate, but the children don't wait for your choice. They scatter suddenly, scrambling up rough steps, darting behind stalagmites, daring you with taunting shrieks. A rock whizzes past your head. You flinch.
The tall troll rumbles from behind, voice slow and measured. They test. If you cannot endure children, you cannot endure truth. You swallow hard, then lunge forward. The nearest troll child shrieks in delight and bolts, claws scratching stone as it darts between two jagged spires. You pursue, ducking under low arches, the cavern's mineral glow flashing across your vision. The laughter surrounds you, echoing from every angle. One of them leaps from a ledge above, landing on your back with startling weight. You stagger, nearly fall before grabbing at the small body and prying it loose. The child wriggles, cackling in your arms, then twists free and scampers off, leaving your arms stinging with scratches. The game goes on like this, darting, chasing, stumbling, until your chest heaves with exhaustion. The troll children never tire. Their laughter is relentless, filling the cavern like a swarm of insects. And always, always, their claws catch you just enough to sting, to remind you that even play here carries teeth. Finally, you collapse against a boulder, sweat dripping down your face. The troll children circle you, triumphant, their laughter fading into satisfied grins. One pats your knee almost kindly. Another presses the same pebble into your hand again, as though sealing some unspoken agreement. The tall troll steps closer, looming. You endured. The children scatter at its presence, though their glowing eyes linger from the shadows, still amused, still watchful. The small one beams up at you. Now you are heavy. You clutch the pebble in your hand, chest still heaving, skin burning with scratches. For the first time, you feel the full weight of what it means to be seen here, not as prey, not as guest, but as participant in their strange, jagged world.
You're still clutching the pebble when the tall troll gestures for you to follow. The children linger at the edges of the cavern, whispering and snickering among themselves, but they no longer harass you. Their game is finished. You passed, though you're not sure what that even means. The small one scampers ahead, beckoning eagerly. "Stories! Show him the stories!" The tall troll's heavy stride echoes behind you, a steady drum that makes you feel like you're being herded. You follow the small one into a side passage, narrower than the others, but smoother, the walls gleaming with mineral veins. It's cooler here, quieter. Every footstep feels louder than it should. The passage opens into a chamber lined from floor to ceiling with carvings. You stop dead, staring. The walls are alive with etched figures, trolls, bridges, rivers, and shapes you don't recognize. The grooves glow faintly, not from paint, but from crystals lodged deep in the rock, their light tracing every line. The small one spreads its arms proudly. "Stories! Show him the stories!" The tall troll's heavy stride echoes behind you, a steady drum that makes you feel like you're being herded. You follow the small one into a side passage, narrower than the others, but smoother, the walls gleaming with mineral veins. It's cooler here, quieter. Every footstep feels louder than it should. The passage opens into a chamber lined from floor to ceiling with carvings. You stop dead, staring. The walls are alive with etched figures, trolls, bridges, rivers, and shapes you don't recognize. The grooves glow faintly, not from paint, but from crystals lodged deep in the rock, their light tracing every line. The small one spreads its arms proudly. "Stories!" You step closer. The carvings are crude in style, but precise in detail, layered over each other in spirals and rows. A troll with arms wide, towering over tiny human figures. A bridge crumbling into a river. Shapes that look like fire, claw marks, spirals leading downward. Your voice comes out hushed. "Who made these?" The tall troll's voice rumbles low. "All of us, all time.
each claw keep memory. The small one giggles, scampering to one panel and dragging its fingers through the grooves. See this one? River angry, ate many, trolls fed. The tall troll growls a warning, and the small one falls silent, though its grin remains. You peer closer at a panel that catches your eye. A bridge stands above a river, and beneath it, trolls carved like shadows. But above the bridge are not humans. They're something else. Shapes with wings, or maybe flames. The lines are too strange to parse. You trace one with your finger. What is this? The tall troll steps beside you, pale eyes fixed on the wall. Before your kind. Before humans? Its massive head inclines slowly. Stone remembers, older than your world. The thought rattles you. These aren't just records of their own lives. They're archives of everything stone has ever absorbed. You glance around the chamber, at the walls layered with centuries of marks, and realize the trolls aren't only feeding on memory. They're preserving it, retelling it, making sure it never disappears. Your gaze falls on another panel. This one shows a troll hunched under a bridge, claw extended towards a tiny figure crossing above. But instead of snatching the figure, the troll's hand is pressed to the underside of the bridge itself. The lines ripple outward like waves. The small one leans close, whispering, "This is truth. Bridges hum. We listen." The words echo in your skull, dragging you back to that moment when you touched the wall and felt it vibrate with voices. Bridges hum. They don't want the travelers. They want the weight of what the travelers leave behind. The tall troll lifts its claw, running it lightly over a fresh etching near the chamber's edge. Memory is stone. Without it, nothing stands. You stare at the glowing grooves, trying to comprehend the sheer scope of what you're seeing. Every troll who ever lived has left a mark here. Every bridge, every crossing, every forgotten scream or whispered secret. Recorded, fed upon, preserved. It's not a story. It's a library. The small one looks up at you, eyes glinting. You leave mark too. Soon. Your stomach twists. You don't ask how. The tall troll turns from the wall, its voice final. You know enough now. Truth weighs heavy. Heavier still ahead. The chamber seems to pulse with the carving's glow, and you suddenly feel like the walls are watching you. Not the trolls, the stone itself. You clutch the pebble tighter, as though it anchors you against the overwhelming flood of memory, pressing in from every direction.
The carvings still shimmer in your eyes when the tall troll pivots toward you, its bulk blocking half the chamber. Enough looking, it says, voice gravelly and deliberate. Now proving. Your chest tightens. Proving what? The small one bounces on its claws, grinning too widely. Proving you can carry weight. Not just look, not just run with children. Real test. You don't like the tone. You don't like the way the chamber suddenly feels smaller, as though the glowing carvings have crept closer while you weren't paying attention. The tall troll gestures with one massive claw toward a narrow tunnel yawning at the far end of the room. Through there, it says. You squint into the blackness. The passage swallows light. What's in it? The small one's grin stretches wider. Stone and truth. That doesn't help at all. But the tall troll has already stepped aside, giving you no choice. You wipe your clammy hands against your thighs and step forward, the pebble still clutched in your fist like some pathetic talisman. The tunnel is barely wide enough for your shoulders, rough stones scraping against your clothes as you squeeze through. The glow from the story chamber fades until you're left in near total darkness. Every sound magnifies: your breath, your footsteps, the faint grind of pebbles underfoot. Behind you, the tall troll's voice rumbles faintly. Do not drop what you carry. You glance at the pebble in your hand. Surely it doesn't mean. Something shifts in the dark ahead. You freeze. A scraping, low and deliberate, like stone dragged across stone. The air grows thicker, heavier, pressing against your chest. Then you see it, a faint glimmer on the ground, a larger stone, half buried in dust, glowing faintly from within like an ember trapped in rock. The small one's whisper slithers through the tunnel, impossibly close to your ear, though you can't see it. Lift it. Your pulse hammers. The stone looks heavy, too heavy. But you crouch anyway, fingers brushing against its cool, vibrating surface. The moment you touch it, your head floods with noise. Voices, hundreds of them, overlapping, echoing, whispering. You gasp, almost dropping it, but you remember the tall troll's warning. Do not drop what you carry. You heave it up against your chest. It's heavier than it should be, not just in weight, but in the crushing burden of all those voices pressing into your skull. Every step back down the tunnel feels impossible. The stone seems to want to sink you into the earth. You stagger, scrape your shoulder against the wall, nearly stumble. The voices hiss in your ears. Secrets, regrets, forgotten names. They swirl so fast you can't hold on to them. It's maddening. Keep walking, the tall troll's voice rumbles from far behind. You grit your teeth and force yourself forward, dragging your body through the suffocating dark. The glow of the story chamber finally reappears ahead, distant but beckoning. You lurch toward it, clutching the burden tighter as if letting go would rip you apart. At last, you stumble back into the chamber, collapsing to your knees with the glowing stone in your arms. Your chest heaves, sweat dripping down your face. The tall troll looms above you, expression unreadable. The small one hops excitedly at your side, clapping its claws. He did it! He carried! The voices inside the stone quiet as soon as you lay it on the ground. But the weight lingers in your chest, pressing down, reminding you of what you just endured. The tall troll lowers its massive head, pale eyes glinting. Now you know. Memory is burden. If you cannot carry one stone, you cannot carry truth. You sit there trembling, every muscle screaming, still clutching your pebble like it's the only thing keeping you whole. And maybe it is.
You're still hunched over the glowing stone, chest heaving, when the tall troll's shadow falls fully across you. Its eyes narrow, not unkind, but weighing, judging. Now, it says slowly, you may learn toll. The small one squeals with delight, skipping in circles around you. Toll! 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 It chants the word like a game, claws clicking against the stone floor. You rub sweat from your forehead, throat dry. You mean the bridge toll? The tall troll inclines its massive head. Yes, the toll your kind whisper of, the toll that frightens. The chamber seems to darken, though the carvings still glow faintly. You realize everyone has fallen silent, no children laughing, no distant footsteps, just you, the tall troll, and the small one.
The tall troll lowers itself to a crouch, claws scraping stone. Its voice drops into something closer to a growl. Travelers vanish. You know this. You swallow. Yes. Your kind believe we eat flesh, that we hunger for blood. The small one hisses theatrically, snapping its teeth in your face before dissolving into giggles. The tall troll ignores it. But toll is not body. Toll is weight, memory, story. You frown, gripping the pebble still clutched in your palm. You mean you take people's memories? Its eyes lock on yours. Not take, absorb. We keep what would otherwise be lost. A toll for safe crossing, your heaviest secret, your deepest regret, a fragment of you carved into stone. The words sink like stones in your stomach. All those legends of travelers disappearing, had they really vanished, or had they simply left something so heavy behind that they couldn't walk away the same? The tall troll leans closer. Some give freely, some resist. Those who resist are broken. Their weight sinks them. They vanish beneath bridge because they cannot walk without what we keep. The image chills you more than blood and bone ever could, not monsters devouring flesh, but keepers of unbearable truths. The small one tops your knee with a claw. Want to see? Want to see toll? Before you can answer, it scampers toward another tunnel branching off the chamber. The tall troll rises to its full height and gestures for you to follow. You will see. You don't want to, but your legs move anyway. The tunnel curves sharply, then widens into another cavern. This one is darker, colder. At first you think the floor is littered with rubble, but then you look closer. They're shapes of people, frozen in stone. Your breath catches. Figures half buried in the rock, some curled in fetal positions, others stretched as if clawing for the surface. Their faces are twisted with anguish, mouths open in silent screams. Each one faintly glows, veins of mineral threading through their forms. The small one scampers among them gleefully, patting one petrified cheek. This one gave half secret, not enough. River took rest. You stumble back, heart racing. You turned them to stone? The tall troll's voice rumbles low. Not us, the weight. When secret too heavy, it crushes. River claims what cannot be carried. You glance at the frozen figures again, at the way they seem both alive and not. A horrible thought creeps in. How many travelers were crushed not by claws, but by themselves? The tall troll gestures around. This is toll, not gold, not coin, weight of truth. The small one crouches at your side, grinning up at you. What will yours be? The question hits harder than you expect. Your hand tightens on the pebble until your knuckles ache. The cavern full of silent statues watches you, glowing faintly in the dim light, each one a monument to a toll that was too much to bear. And you know, sooner or later, you'll be asked to pay your own.
The cavern of silent statues clings to you long after you leave it, every face etched into your mind like another set of carvings. You can still feel their hollow eyes on your back as the tall troll leads you onward, deeper beneath the bridge. The small one scampers along beside you, humming tunelessly, flicking pebbles down side passages. The air changes before the tunnel even widens. The cool stillness thickens, damp with mist. You hear it first, a low, constant rushing, the kind of sound that makes your bones vibrate. Then the tunnel opens into a vast cavern, and you see it. A river, underground. Its waters churn black and silver, the current alive with its own restless fury. The sound fills everything, bouncing from the walls, pressing against your chest. It doesn't look like water meant for drinking. It looks like water meant for taking. The tall troll halts at the rocky edge, gazing down at the torrent. "River," it says simply. Its tone is not reverent, not fearful, but wary, like one addresses a powerful neighbor who might slam the door in your face. The small one crouches low, claws tracing the wet stone. "It's awake today," it whispers. And then the river answers. Not in words at first, but in a swell of sound, louder, deeper, a vibration that rattles your teeth. The current rises, a swell that should not exist underground, frothing white before sinking back into blackness. Then the voice comes, not through air, but straight through your chest. "Who crosses?" You stumble, clutching your pebble as if it might anchor you. The tall troll bows its head, massive shoulders slumping. "We keep pact. We hold weight. We guard bridge." The water hisses, surging upward in a column that almost resembles a figure, a shifting silhouette, arms, face, all made of liquid too quick to pin down. "The pact holds, but the toll is mine." The small one giggles nervously. "Always greedy." The river voice sharpens. "I take what sinks. You cannot hold all. I drink what drowns." The tall troll rumbles in its throat, but doesn't argue. Instead, it looks at you. You realize with a sick twist in your stomach, you are standing at the edge of the agreement. The trolls don't just hoard secrets for themselves. They bargain. They take the tolls that can be borne, carve them into stone. And everything else, the secrets too heavy, too poisonous, too destructive, those belong to the river. The voice surges again, echoing in your bones. "This one carries new weight." It means you. You stagger back a step, nearly slipping on the slick stone. The tall troll's claw shoots out, steadying you, though its touch is far from gentle. Its pale eyes bore into yours. "River sees. River always sees." The small one leans in close, whispering, "What will you drop? What will you keep?" Your throat goes dry. You want to say you don't know. You want to say you don't have secrets heavy enough to matter, but you feel the pebble burning in your hand, the one you've carried since the children's game, the one that feels heavier every moment you hold it. The river's form shudders, rippling. "When you cross bridge again, I will take." The tall troll releases you, stepping back. "It is said." The water crashes down, spray soaking your face, and the figure vanishes, sinking back into the churning current. Only the sound remains, endless, insistent, like breathing in the dark. The tall troll turns from the edge, shoulders heavy. "Now you know pact. We keep what can be carried. River drinks the rest." The small one skips ahead, cheerful again, as if nothing terrifying just happened. "Next time you cross, we will see." You follow, legs unsteady, the roar of the river still thrumming through your bones.
The roar of the underground river lingers in your skull long after you leave it behind. The tunnels feel heavier now, each turn pressing you deeper into a world where secrets weigh more than stone. The tall troll walks ahead in silence, massive back hunched, while the small one darts between shadows, muttering nonsense rhymes. You start to think you're safe again, that you'll simply be led back to the glowing city of trolls, maybe even allowed to breathe. But the tunnels open suddenly into another cavern, one unlike the rest. This place is vast, circular, the ceiling lost in darkness.
Stone benches curve inward like an amphitheater, all focused on a wide, flat slab in the center. Dozens of trolls sit there already, their bodies looming shapes in the gloom. None speak, none move. The small one darts to your side, lowering its voice to a conspiratorial whisper. Feast of silence. You blink. Feast? They're not eating. Not food. It smirks, jagged teeth glinting. Listening. The tall troll gestures for you to sit at the edge of the benches. You obey because every instinct tells you not to refuse. The air is heavy with expectation, the kind of weight that makes you afraid to even clear your throat. The last few trolls lumber in, settling into place. Then, without a word, they all turn their heads toward the center slab. At first there's nothing, just stillness. Then faint light seeps from the stone, soft pulses like a heartbeat. The glow spreads, crawling up the walls, painting every troll's face with an eerie shimmer. And then you hear it. Not with your ears exactly, more like behind your eyes, pressing into your mind, a whisper. Not words, but fragments, laughter, weeping, sighs. Thousands of overlapping echoes rising and falling. The trolls close their eyes, swaying slightly, soaking in the chorus. The tall troll sits rigid, claws pressed to his knees. The small one grins wide, whispering, "They're feeding." You shiver. This is their feast. Secrets, regrets, memories released into the silence. The tolls they've gathered, replayed, shared, savored. The chorus grows louder, distinct voices slipping through. You hear a woman crying out a lost name, a child's laughter abruptly cut off, a man's whisper begging forgiveness. Each voice lodges in your chest before vanishing back into the flood. Your throat tightens. You don't belong here. These voices weren't meant for you, yet you can't stop listening. Then one of the whispers sharpens, clear as a knife. It speaks your name. You jolt upright, heart pounding. No one else reacts. The trolls keep swaying, entranced. The whisper fades, swallowed back into the chorus. The glow dims, the voices soften, and slowly the trolls begin to stir. Their eyes open, their hulking shapes straighten. Not one of them has spoken aloud, yet they all look strangely satisfied, like diners after a rich meal. The tall troll arises and addresses the gathering in a low rumble you can't fully catch. The others grunt in response, dispersing slowly into the tunnels. None of them acknowledge you. When the chamber is nearly empty, the small one claps you on the shoulder, chirping, "First feast? Didn't faint. Good sign." You barely manage to whisper, "That voice, it said my name." The small one only grins. Feast always knows. You stare at the fading glow on the slab, your heart still hammering. The trolls fed on truth tonight, and somehow, some of that truth was yours.
The glow on the slab fades to nothing, leaving you with the aftertaste of whispers clinging to your skull. You rub your temples, but the echo doesn't go away. Your name still feels suspended in the air, waiting for someone else to say it aloud. The small one keeps grinning at you like it knows far too much. The tall troll, however, lingers near the edge of the chamber, staring down at the stone benches as though the silence itself might crack if it steps too hard. And then the crack comes, not from silence, but from another troll.
A squat, wide-shouldered brute with a scar running across its stone-gray snout lumbers forward, glaring straight at the tall troll. "You break pact," it growls, voice rasping like grinding gravel. The tall troll's head lifts slowly, its pale eyes glint. "I do not break." "Yes," the scarred troll jabs a claw toward you. "You bring it here. You let it here. Outsider takes feast. This is break." A low rumble spreads across the chamber. The few trolls who hadn't yet left stir, muttering deep, guttural sounds. Their voices echo against the cavern walls like thunder bouncing between mountains. The small one hisses, crouching lower beside you. "Uh-oh, bad soup brewing." You swallow hard, pulse quickening. "They're going to—" "Shh!" It presses a claw to its lips, eyes dancing with mischief. "Let them fight." The tall troll steps closer to the scarred one, towering, unflinching. "River saw, river allowed. If river does not break, neither do I." The scarred troll snarls, spittle hissing as it hits the glowing stone slab. "River takes too much. You give it stranger. You betray kin." The chamber vibrates with angry murmurs. Other trolls gather closer, forming a half circle. Some side with the scarred troll, their glares heavy on you. Others remain silent, watching the tall troll. Your chest tightens. You're the wedge in the crack spreading through them. The scarred troll suddenly roars, raising both arms. "No more toll! No more pact! No more lies!" Its voice rings through the cavern, shaking dust from the ceiling. The trolls howl back, a chorus of rage that makes your skin crawl. The small one cackles beside you, delighted, while you hunch lower on the bench, wishing desperately to disappear into the stone. The tall troll's claws curl, scraping loud grooves in the rock. "Without pact, river drowns us all." But the scarred troll doesn't listen. It lunges. The two collide in the center of the slab, claws raking, teeth snapping, stone cracking beneath their weight. The sound is monstrous, bone against rock, growls that shake the air. The trolls around them howl louder, some chanting the scarred one's name, others pounding the ground in rhythm for the tall troll. The small one hops up onto the bench beside you, bouncing with excitement. "Best fight in years. Bet on tall one?" You can't answer. Your throat's too tight. Dust rains down from the ceiling with every slam of their bodies. You're caught between the urge to run and the certainty that running would be worse. The tall troll shoves the scarred one back, voice booming. "River keeps balance." The scarred troll answers with a guttural laugh, lunging again, slashing deep across the tall troll's shoulder. The pale giant grunts, staggering. For the first time you see it bleed, thick, blackish fluid oozing like oil. The crowd roars. Some pound the stone in support, others shriek their defiance. The chamber is alive with frenzy, the pact itself trembling under their rage. The small one leans close, whispering gleefully, "Told you bad soup. Now we see who eats." And you, still clutching your pebble, realize with a shiver, whoever wins this fight decides what happens to you. The fight rattles the cavern like an earthquake. Stone dust clouds the air, grit catching in your throat, while the tall troll and the scarred one slam against each other with a violence that feels older than language. Each impact echoes through your ribs, as though the cavern itself is beating in time with their struggle. The crowd of trolls chants, half of them calling for blood, the other half roaring for balance. The slab glows faintly under their weight, cracks spreading like spider webs across its surface. You clutch your pebble until your knuckles ache, your heart pounding in rhythm with every strike. Then, with a heaving roar, the tall troll grabs the scarred one by the neck and hurls it against the stone wall. The crack of impact shudders the whole chamber. The scarred troll slumps, dazed, snarling through broken teeth. The crowd erupts, some in triumph, others in fury. The sound is unbearable, like boulders grinding together. The small one tugs your sleeve. Not done yet. Come, before tall one bleeds out or scar one rips throat. It pulls you down a narrow side passage, barely wider than your shoulders. You stumble after it, lungs burning with dust, ears ringing with troll roars that fade behind you. The tunnel bends sharply, and then slopes downward deeper than you've ever been. You whisper hoarsely, "Where are we going?" The small one doesn't turn. Secret they fight over. Better you see before it cracks. The tunnel ends in a low arch. The small one ducks through, and you follow, nearly crawling on your hands and knees until the rock gives way to a wide chamber. You freeze. The air here is still, colder, heavy with a metallic tang. In the center of the room sits an object too large to ignore. A slab of dark stone carved into a chest, bound with iron bands that pulse faintly with light. The air around it hums like a struck tuning fork. The small one stands proudly beside it, spreading its arms. Weapon, old thing, heartstone. Your stomach twists. Weapon. It grins. Trolls guard it. Pact made so river doesn't drink us dry. This keeps river from swallowing bridge, keeps world from cracking open. You step closer, drawn despite yourself. The chest is carved with spirals that seem to move if you look too long, pulling your eyes deeper into their loops. The iron bands creak faintly, as though something inside shifts when you breathe near it. "Don't touch," the small one warns, suddenly serious. Its jagged grin fades. Heartstone remembers fingers. Fingers vanish. You yank your hand back, pulse racing. The small one crouches, tapping its claws against the stone floor. Tall one guards it. Scar one wants it. River whispers about it, but no one opens, no one dares. If pact breaks, it maybe eats sky. The humming grows louder the longer you stand there, seeping into your bones. You feel your pebble pulsing in rhythm, heat rising from your palm. The weight of it feels unbearable now, as if the chest was calling for it, as if the pebble belonged here. You whisper, "Why show me this?" The small one tilts its head, grin creeping back, "Because you carry secret heavy enough. Maybe stone likes you, maybe not. Want to find out?" Your hand trembles, the pebble burning hot enough to hurt. You take a step back. But the chamber shudders, dust raining from the ceiling. The fight above rages on, each blow threatening to collapse the tunnels. The chest hums louder, resonating with the violence, as though feeding on it. The small one watches you, eyes gleaming. Soon choice comes, stone or river, tall one or scar one, pact or break. The hum rises until it's all you can hear, a pressure in your skull. You clutch the pebble tighter, your mind racing, the chest waiting, the cavern shaking, as if the whole bridge above depends on what happens next.
The chest's hum is still vibrating in your skull when the small one scuttles closer, eyes darting between you and the pulsing bands of iron.
"Stone likes you," it whispers. "I can smell it, taste it even. Strange flavor, stranger." You back away, clutching the pebble so tight you feel its edges bite into your palm. "I don't want it to like me." "Too late," the small one sing-songs, its grin stretching too wide. "It's already watching." The chamber shakes again, dust sifting down in gritty veils. Somewhere above, the tall troll and the scarred one are still tearing into each other. The small one tilts its head, listening. "Fight won't end clean. They'll split. Some want pact, some want break. And you," it points a claw at your chest, "you're not in middle." Your throat tightens. "I didn't ask to be." "Doesn't matter." The small one's grin softens into something like pity. "River called you, stone answered, now trolls decide." Before you can press it further, heavy footsteps thunder down the narrow passage behind you.
The tall troll emerges, hunched, its shoulders split open and leaking black blood, eyes glowing pale with fury. It takes one long look at you, then the chest. "Enough!" Its voice shakes the chamber. The small one skips backward, chuckling. "See? Choice time." The tall troll's gaze fixes on you, hard as granite. "Outsider, river chose you. Stone listens to you. Now you choose. Pact holds or pact breaks. You carry toll." You stammer, "I don't even—" But the scarred troll forces its way in behind you, dragging one leg, but grinning viciously. Its claws drip with the tall one's blood. "No pact," it bellows, pointing at you. "Stranger joins us. Stranger frees stone. River drowns. Bridge falls. World cleansed. Truth rises." The tall troll snarls, stepping between you and the scarred one. "Do not listen. Stone destroys all. Without pact, trolls vanish, bridge shatters. You vanish too." Your legs feel weak, pinned between their stares. Both giants pant heavily, their bodies shaking with blood loss, but their wills lock tight around you. The small one claps gleefully. "Oh, I love choices. Door 1, river eats. Door 2, stone eats. Door 3, maybe both." The chest hums louder, pulling your gaze against your will. The spirals on its surface writhe, twisting into shapes you almost recognize. Faces, mouths, eyes, all shifting when you blink. The tall troll kneels, lowering its massive face to your level. "Keep pact. Walk away alive. Forget whispers. Forget stone." Its voice rumbles but steadies, like a father bargaining with a frightened child. The scarred troll leans forward, baring jagged teeth. "Break pact. Open stone. Learn truth they hide. Tear river. Tear sky. You become troll forever." You shake your head, words caught in your throat. The pebble in your palm burns hotter, and for one terrifying heartbeat, you hear your name whispered again, this time from inside the chest. The voice is yours, your own, but distorted, stretched thin, pleading. Both trolls growl, watching you. The tall one desperate, the scarred one hungry, the small one bouncing with glee. And you, sweating, trembling, caught between pacts, stones, and whispers, realize this is the price. You can't leave unless you choose.
The pebble sears your palm like a coal. You want to throw it, drop it, bury it, anything, but your fist won't open. The chest pulses in the center of the chamber, answering the heat with a rhythm that matches your racing heart. The tall troll stays kneeling, massive claws planted in the stone, bleeding but unyielding.
"You give stone back. You give toll. Bridge stands. We stand."
The scarred troll staggers forward, grinning with bloody teeth. "Don't listen. Stone wants out. Stone wants you. Open it and lies die. Truth burns clean." The small one rocks on its heels, cackling, "Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. It's like a game show. Pick a prize, stranger. Door 1, safety. Door 2, chaos. Door 3, maybe teeth in your brain." Your breath comes shallow, chest tight. I can't choose this." "You already chose," the tall troll rumbles. "River called. You walked. Toll given. Now finish." The scarred troll points at your fist, its claws trembling with anticipation. "Pebble is key. Put it in. Open chest. Show world what trolls really guard." The hum fills the room until your thoughts blur. The spirals on the chest shift again, forming mouths that gape wide, as if waiting for you to feed them. You hear whispers rising, your name, your secrets, every buried thought you swore you'd never say aloud. They pour from the stone in your hand, pulled toward the chest like iron filings to a magnet. You stumble forward, knees weak. The tall troll rises instantly, blocking the chest with its massive body. "No!" Its roar rattles the chamber. "Stone never opens! You drop it now! End this!" The scarred troll lunges to the side, claws scraping against the iron bands. Sparks fly. "Yes! Open! Feed it! Let it roar!" The small one claps like a delighted child, chanting, "Open, close, open, close, someone's nose gets bit." The chest pulses harder. Your pebble burns so hot you cry out. Your fist jerks forward against your will, arm trembling as though dragged by invisible chains. The tall troll shoves closer, desperate. "Listen, stone lies. It hungers. It will eat you first. Pact is truth, I swear." The scarred troll spits, snarling. "Pact is leash. They bind us to bridge, to whispers, to silence. Stone is freedom. Freedom with teeth, but freedom still." Your legs buckle. You drop to your knees, fist shaking inches from the chest. The hum rises to a piercing whine. The air quivers like it's about to split apart. The tall troll lowers its head until its eyes bore into yours. "If you open, you die. If you hold, maybe you live." The scarred troll hisses. "If you hold, you rot in lies. If you open, you burn, but you know." The small one crouches beside you, grin impossibly wide. "Tick-tock, tick-tock, world waits. Which taste do you like better, ashes or silence?" Your hand moves closer, pebble glowing, chest alive with hunger. The spirals writhe, mouths opening wider. Your name bursts from them in a scream, not whispered this time, but shouted, echoing until your skull feels like it will split apart. The trolls roar on either side of you. The chest pulses, the pebble blazes, and you realize there's no more time left.
The heat in your fist peaks, unbearable, the pebble searing straight through flesh into bone. You scream, or maybe you don't. Your voice is lost in the roar of the chest, in the bellow of trolls, in the cavern itself shaking like it's about to rip open. Your hand slams forward. The pebble sinks into the spiraled surface like water swallowing a stone. The iron bands flare white, brighter than lightning, so bright it burns your vision into blankness. For a moment, all sound cuts out. Then it comes. The chest exhales. Not air, something heavier, thicker, older. It spills over you, through you, a tide of voices layered in one. Some plead, some scream, some laugh, all in your own voice, multiplied into infinity. The weight crushes your chest until you can't breathe. The tall troll howls, throwing itself between you and the stone, arms spread wide. "No!" The scarred troll laughs, triumph shaking its broken body. "Yes! Truth! Freedom!" The chest cracks down the center. Light spills out. Not gentle light, but jagged, writhing beams like claws tearing through the dark. The cavern splits with it, stone shrieking, dust exploding from the walls. And you, staring into the crack, see what the trolls have been guarding. Not a weapon, not a heart, a mouth. An endless maw yawning inside the stone, teeth stretching into the dark, each tooth the size of a tower. Behind them, a river of black water, rushing faster than any current you've ever seen.
It churns and thrashes, screaming with every wave. The river. The tall troll shoves against the chest with all its might, but the iron bands snap like twigs. The scarred troll throws back its head, laughing even as its body crumbles into the light. The small one crouches beside you, whispering, almost tender, "Told you, big teeth." The mouth inside the chest widens, its roar vibrating every bone in your body. You feel yourself sliding toward it, the ground buckling, the pull of the river stronger than gravity. The tall troll grabs you at the last moment, massive claws wrapping around your shoulders, hauling you back as stone gives way beneath your knees. Its pale eyes burn into yours. Close it or all drown. Your mind is ash, your body is fire. But somewhere inside the chaos your hand still moves. You slam it against the spiraled stone, pushing back, forcing the last shard of the pebble deep into the crack. For a heartbeat, nothing. Then, silence. The chest seals. The light snaps shut. The cavern collapses into stillness, leaving only your ragged breathing and the tall troll's labored gasps. The scarred troll is gone, swallowed whole. The small one crouches in the dust, grinning faintly, watching you. The tall troll, bleeding and broken, lowers itself before you. Pact holds because of you. Its head bows. The sound it makes isn't a growl, isn't a roar. It's reverence. You're still shaking when you look at the chest, now dark again, cracks sealed, as if nothing ever happened. Only the faint hum remains deep under your skin. The small one chuckles softly. River's full, mouth's hungry, stone sleeps, for now. Its grin sharpens. But it remembers you, always will. And when you try to open your hand, you realize with horror the pebble is gone. The cavern no longer shakes, though the air is still thick with dust, each breath heavy and slow. The trolls' voices fade, their howls swallowed by silence, until only the steady drip of water somewhere deep in the stone remains. The tall troll leans back against the wall, its immense body sinking like a mountain slumping into itself. It closes its eyes, still breathing, but softer now, as though it too is sliding toward sleep. You stand there trembling, your hands empty at last. No pebble, no glow, only the faint echo of whispers lodged somewhere in the back of your mind. They're quieter now. Not demanding, just murmuring at the edge of hearing, like waves lapping at a shore you'll never quite reach. The small one sits on a broken piece of stone, legs swinging, eyes half closed, grin gentler than before. Not bad, stranger. Not bad at all. You lived. River waits. Mouth sleeps. Bridge still stands. That's something. You lower yourself to the cold floor, back against the rough wall. The trembling in your body begins to ease, replaced by a heavy, spreading warmth, the kind that makes your limbs feel heavier than stone. Dust drifts slowly through the air, catching the faint light like tiny silver motes. The cavern feels deeper now, wider, but quieter too, as though everything dangerous has curled back into its den to rest. You close your eyes. The whispers dull further, settling into nothing more than memory. Your body loosens, breath slowing, every exhale softer than the last. And in that gentle silence, in the weight of calm that presses all around you, the world drifts further away until there is only darkness and only quiet and only sleep. Sweet dreams.